Hello, FBC Madison. My name is Charlie Brown. It really is. My wife Diane and I are new friends to FBC Madison, so we say hello to you. We are church planting missionaries of the North American Mission Board, and we're serving in the city of Baltimore. Diane and I have been in the city since we committed to the city in August of 2014. We came a little later than that into the city. So we've been in Baltimore for about 3 years now. Baltimore is referred to as, I think, some of the great adjectives, a tough city, raw, gritty. I think there is a realness about the people in the city of Baltimore. Unfortunately, in 2015, we were thrust onto the national news through the arrest and death of Freddie Gray. And of course, the very difficult conversations, the riots that took place in the city of Baltimore, the tension between the police and the African American community in the city of Baltimore is very real. Some say that Baltimore is a tough city. I don't disagree with that. And again, but a good thing that has come out of that is that we have very frank and very real discussions about race in the city of Baltimore, in the state of Maryland, and in our country. So while some of the news that is portrayed nationwide is difficult and negative, the flip side of it is that I believe that God is using that, God is leveraging that in order for us to have these difficult conversations about race and racial reconciliation, about justice, about systemic racism and institutional racism, but also great opportunities to share the gospel and love of Jesus Christ. So on the one hand, Baltimore is a tough and difficult city. And on the other hand, we have great joy each and every time a student or someone in our community becomes a follower of Jesus Christ. Diane and I have two adult children, Anthony and Melissa. Melissa is married to Kevin, who is a police detective in Caroline County. They have blessed us with two beautiful grandsons. Melissa speaks multiple dialects of Arabic and serves in an international missions organization from here in the United States. She often travels to the Middle East and other countries. But Melissa does a lot of our website work, some of our social media. She sets up our website, set up our online giving platform, and then advises us with regard to social media. And of course, she's always an encouragement. There's a lot of international ministry being done in the city of Baltimore. So Melissa works with us on occasion in order to reach out to internationals, particularly people from the Middle East as well. Our son Anthony is also an adult, and Anthony has blessed us with two twin baby grandgirls. They are 6-year-olds now, and they live in Phoenix, Arizona. One of the great things that we got to do last summer, the girls came and spent 7 weeks with us. So our granddaughters, Iris and Aurora, were in camp with us all summer during our sports camps. We serve 6 and sometimes 7 weeks of sports camps during the summer right in our community. So it was a great joy and a blessing to have the girls with us, and that gave us opportunities to share the gospel and love on people as well. You asked a couple of very insightful questions. So Brian and Pastor Anthony, I thank you for that. In Baltimore City, Baltimore is 63% African American, per capita, the blackest city in the United States of America. So some other religious beliefs that we are confronted with is the Nation of Islam. It is an arm of the Muslim religion, and it was started primarily, it's institutional. Men that enter the prison system, particularly in the state of Maryland, black men become part of the Nation of Islam. and their beliefs are even different from most, somewhat different from most mainstream Muslims. Also, a religion that I was not aware of at all called the Black Israelites. And both the Nation of Islam and Black Israelites have a lot of problem with Christianity referring to it as a white man's religion. So it's very difficult being Caucasian to share the gospel, to be authentic with these folks, or for them to feel that we are authentic. And also worldview is interesting. I think I'm reading a book now called Removing the Stain of Racism from the Southern Baptist Convention. Our community is about 94% African American, and obviously we are not. That gives us great opportunities to share the gospel. And initially we were very concerned about that, and of course we are not now. It has been also our greatest asset. People are curious as to why we are here. And ironically enough, we're very accepted in our community, loving on people, sharing the gospel and building relationships. So that is kind of a unique thing that God has really leveraged for the sake of the gospel and for our relationships. And I also think that in our country, while racial reconciliation is a big conversation and tensions are high in our country right now, I would say that we are making progress, and I think that God is about to do great things and is doing great things in our urban environments. The reality of systemic racism and institutional racism truly exists. It does. And we have to address that. And as Southern Baptists, we have to address a long-standing history of racism, even in our own National Baptist Convention. So those are challenges for us. So even as I read this book, Removing the Stain of Racism from the Southern Baptist Convention, I'm encouraged, not discouraged. And I hope that you will be too. And I also recommend that as a great book. One of our great trials right now is time. Diane travels 108 miles a day in commuting for her work in some of the worst traffic in the United States of America. So margins in our life are time that we get to spend together. And the reason actually she's not sitting here with me right now is that she travels, her week is consumed, and it removes her from the community. And so while her career and income provide us with a great deal of ability to do ministry and be in the city of Baltimore, it's also a great challenge. We are making progress. Our Celebrate Recovery group, men and women who are addicted to drugs and alcohol, are getting sober. In the month of October, 6 teenagers came to know Jesus Christ, made professions of faith in our G-Rock after school ministry. Last summer, over 50 children and even some adults made professions of faith during our 6 weeks of camp. So we are seeing progress in our community. Right now we're attempting to purchase a building so that we can anchor our ministry right here on Greenmount Avenue. And of course, being a small church plant, this is very challenging. So I just want to say thank you. I hope you guys have a great, great missions weekend. We can't wait to come out and see you. Looking forward to the summer when you come to spend some time with us in the community serving. So I can't wait to meet you. I love our gear, our graffiti gear. If you would like one, email me and we'll get one to you through the mail. Hey, looking forward to meeting you all in person. Love you and thank you for your prayers and your partnership.